The Western Railway Museum is located in Suisun City, California, at the site of Rio Vista Junction, a stop on the old Oakland, Antioch and Eastern, which later came to be known as the Sacramento Northern. Every year, the museum holds a special event for the public to come and enjoy a variety of the preserved equipment the group maintains on its 22-acre facility. This is Members Day 2018. Despite the name Members Day, this is not an event exclusively for members only. The public is always welcome to come on Members Day to be treated to the sights and sound of equipment that usually doesn't get out too often. The museum got its start in the mid-1940s when a group of people riding a chartered streetcar spontaneously purchased it to save it from the scrapper. The preservation group formed that day was to be called the Bay Area Electric Railroad Association. It was renamed the Western Railway Museum in 1985 and has been actively preserving traction and other railroad equipment since its inception. The first event is the Cavalcade, a demonstration of several of the pieces of equipment that will be running or on display today. Leading the cavalcade is San Francisco Municipal Railway Iron Monster 178, built by the Bethlehem Shipbuilding Corporation of San Francisco in 1923. Number 178 was retired in 1958 and purchased by the Bay Area Electric Railroad Association in 1959. Following is Streetcar 352, built by the St. Louis Car Company in 1911 for the East Bay Street Railways, a subsidiary of the famous Key System. Years later, it was donated to the Bay Area Electric Railroad Association, and in 1985 was restored to full working order, painted to represent its 1931 appearance. Many of the replacement parts were salvaged from equipment all over the world. The trucks were originally used on a streetcar from Japan. Next up is Petaluma and Santa Rosa Railroad Interurban Car number 63, built in 1904. After passenger service on the P&SR ended in 1932, the car was stripped of all mechanical gear and was used as a residence until 1967, when it was acquired by the Bay Area Electric Railroad Association. Like 352, many parts from around the U.S. were used to repower the car, including trucks from a Yakima Valley electric freight locomotive and seats from former Chicago Transit Authority elevated cars. Coasting down the hill next is Portland Traction Company Interurban Car number 4001, built in 1926 by the Coleman Car Company. The car served briefly on the Indiana Railroad as number 202 before being sold to the Portland Traction Company in 1940. The Bay Area Electric Railroad Association purchased the 4001 from Portland Traction in 1958 for the sum of $1. The car was restored to operating condition in 2015. Key System number 187 follows the 4001. Number 187 is a 3-truck articulated interurban built by Bethlehem Shipbuilding Corporation in 1937. Known as a bridge unit, these cars operated across the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge between 1939 and 1958, when the Key system abandoned all electric rail operations in favor of bus service. Many of these bus routes still operate today as AC Transit. One of the newer additions to the collection is San Diego Metropolitan Transit Authority Light Rail Vehicle, or LRV, number 1018. The 1018 was built for the SDMTS in 1981, and it was retired from service in 2014. It was moved to Rio Vista Junction less than 1 week after its final service as a San Diego trolley. The San Diego MTS was the first successful attempt to modernize electric rail transit in North America, earning both 1018 and sister 1017 a special place in the museum's collection. Finally, Sacramento Northern Railway Interurban Motor number 1005 and Trailer number 1020 conclude the Cavalcade. Both of these cars have a long history with the association, dating back to the early 1950s. Number 1005 was built by the Holman Car Company in 1912, one of the last pieces of railroad equipment constructed by the plant, and one of the first passenger motors built for the Oakland, Antioch, and Eastern Railway. 1020 was built for the Oakland, Antioch, and Eastern in 1913. Both cars operated on interurban trains on the south end of the Sacramento Northern between Oakland and Sacramento for many years, until being retired from service, purchased, and restored by the Bay Area Electric Railroad Association. These cars are two of the most prized pieces in the museum's collection. The day's traction excursions consist of trips every 90 minutes out to the end of the line south of the museum, and several shorter trips with other equipment out to the entrance to the main line switch and back again. At South Park Junction, we catch the 1005 and 1020 departing on one of the runs to the south end of the line. A short time later, Key System 1001, a steeple cab built in 1910, hauls a caboose past South Park Junction. This is one of the shorter regular runs on the schedule today. Having reversed direction near the entrance to the main line, the steeple cab returns, pushing the Sacramento Northern 1632, a cupola caboose that was rebuilt from a boxcar. .1005 and 1020 return from their end-of-the-line run. The event will continue like this throughout the rest of the day, with longer run excursions departing, followed by shorter runs sneaking out to the entrance to the main line and back while the long run is still out on the line. In this scene, we're looking north from the rear deck of Salt Lake in Utah 751, an Interurban parlor observation car. 751 is being shoved out to a location called Creed over a stretch of track that doesn't see a lot of use. If you look overhead, you'll notice it has no catenary to power traction equipment. The power for this trip is Veselia Electric 502, a 44-ton General Electric switch engine that was acquired by the organization in 1973. This is a critical stretch of track, as it is the museum's connection to the outside world. It leads to an interchange with the Union Pacific's Martinez Sub main line, just south of Vacaville. The run north we just made out to Creed was the last one of the day. The Salt Lake in Utah 751 is being returned to the main loading area so it can be consisted with the 1005 and 1020 for the day's final electrified run to the south end of the line. Peninsular Railway number 52 comes around the curve. This car was built in 1903 by the American Car Company and was acquired by the museum in 1969. In the distance, number 751, 1020, and 1005 make their way south on the final run of the event out to the south end of the track. The wind turbines provide an interesting backdrop, emphasizing the juxtaposition of old and new technologies in the same frame. Petaluma and Santa Rosa number 63 appears briefly as it makes one of the last short runs of the day. The final short run of the day is made by number 352. Our last sighting is Visalia Electric 502 pulling the last run of the day back to the loading area. The Western Railway Museum hosts many special events throughout the year, and it's centrally located between the San Francisco Bay Area and the greater Sacramento area. It offers a unique look at not only traction, but other vintage equipment as well, and it makes the trip to Rio Vista Junction a time to remember.